Good morning, comrades. It is Thursday, the 11th of March, 2021. This is your daily Good Morning Comrade. We are here. Scott will be joining us in just a moment. I just forgot to send the link this morning. I'm not always good about doing that. How's everybody doing today? It is a beautiful day today. About to head out and go to work to ye old. I've actually been running wires at different places, Ethernet wires and things like that. It's been pretty cool. Hard work, but it's been keeping the bills going. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, that was a big sneeze. Yeah, we are rolling with GMC today. Here is Scott.
Bless you.
Turn your video on. Morning, comrade.
I signed up for a radio show, not a TV show.
Oh.
What is this shit?
I don't know. So who we got in chat today? We have G Wolf. What's up, G Wolf? G Wolf actually gave us a little bit of content for today, so thanks to G Wolf.
What about?
Oh, we'll get to it. We pulled the Tim Ryan video that he sent. I had seen it prior, but it's always nice to have the link. All right, let's get started. I guess the first story I wanted to cover today was that the COVID relief bill passed the House just the other day, yesterday, rather. And then we're going to probably catch up. After this, we're going to catch up with some news from other days because we had our interview with Christine Kramer yesterday, and that was really great. Anyway, let me start with a video.
Finding local pros takes forever.
I hate this. The internet is just like so broken.
Can you turn that up a little?
Oh, it's an ad. Hold on.
Oh.
I mean, unless you want to hear the ad.
I was joking because it was really loud.
Oh, well.
Ain't I a stinker?
Very helpful.
Yeah.
Don't do it that way. Anyway, here we go.
We are going to begin with breaking news. One of the largest and most sweeping economic stimulus bills in U.S. history has been approved by Congress, and it is heading to President Biden's desk tonight. The scope of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, which takes up more than 600 printed pages, is unprecedented. In the coming weeks, tens of millions of Americans will receive $1,400 stimulus checks. Unemployment benefits will be expanded, and the cost of health insurance under Obamacare lowered. Analysts say the bill, which passed without a single Republican vote, will also dramatically cut poverty nationwide, funding programs for food aid and housing assistance, and offering tax credits for children. As we come on the air, the White House is celebrating the new president's first legislative victory, while Republicans are lambasting it as wasteful spending that will further inflate the national debt. And while new polling shows the majority of Americans support the plan, tonight it's clear that nearly every American will feel its impact. We have a lot of new reporting on all of this, as well as some big news from the White House about a deal to buy 100 million more doses of coronavirus vaccine. Our team of correspondents is standing by, covering it all, and CBS's Chris Van Cleve is going to...
All right, so that's a basic setup. So we had the coronavirus bill passed. The stuff that's in it is decent. The $1,400 checks are going to be coming. But unfortunately, the Democrats gave up on the $15 minimum wage, and they never even tried for the $2,000 check. So there is like the reporter said just a minute ago, tons of stuff in this thing. There's stuff for like child tax credits. There are things that would be here we go, $300 billion in jobless benefits. It was originally, when COVID started, something like $600 per week. Now it's gone down to like $300 per week, which is kind of been under attack since the beginning. The small business paycheck protection program, that's money that goes to small businesses. It's supposed to pay for, it's supposed to essentially take care of payroll for workers. That money should be going directly to workers, but what are you gonna do? That's just how our stupid government works. Subsidies for ACA, just kind of keeping that old corpse alive. Obamacare, keeping that alive. Anything that's for Cobra, which is not anywhere near as good as what it's basically like paying blood money to the insurance companies, but you have to keep your it allows you to keep your insurance after you lose your job, but you have to pay like the full price. So there's a lot there. Scott, what do you think? I'm happy with $14.
I'm just shocked that we're not supporting G.I. Joe anymore.
We're not supporting G.I. Joe. We're supporting Cobra. But that's the Stimmy check. I don't know if you had any like takes on it. It passed. It's all coming. They've been talking about this stuff forever. So I don't know. We can get really into details if you want, but I just wanted to kind of gloss over it.
I guess not until tomorrow, or is that tomorrow? Today? Is today Friday?
Today's Thursday.
Okay, good.
What's tomorrow? What tomorrow?
Oh, because you're not signing it till tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Why does it take him 2 days to sign the bill?
Thursday. I'm all booked up that day.
Right. Yeah, I can't do COVID relief on Thursday. I got a thing, and plus they have to print the bill up on a special magical parchment paper that we have to sign. What's
the turnaround on those pens you get?
Yeah, the pens. God, that's so weird. Like that's almost like ancient Roman shit. You need the sacred
invented pens.
You need the sacred chickens to eat before you can go into battle or whatever the fuck.
It's like when you'd use the phone or something, you'd be like, "Phone, huh? Ain't this something?"
Yeah, I did see that there was some discourse. Signing things is hard. G Wolf, you have a point there. Sometimes all I have to do it's like Michael Scott. If you ever watched The Office, they had this one time where he just had to sign a couple papers and it took him all day to get it to happen. I don't know.
You think there's like a copy for in case, like I used to kind of set up little like office meetings and stuff, and you kind of have to have like a backup just in case they blew it or maybe somebody dropped it on the floor and they had a big footprint on a piece of paper or something.
Yeah, if Joe Biden bungles his signing and he fucks it up and they have to delay of course they're not going to work on Saturday or Sunday. He's not going to sign it on the weekend. So on Monday or Tuesday, it would have to get pushed back.
You want that good feeling on Friday before you go home to work, before you go home for the weekend.
Yeah. The other thing too is that so the time what I keep hearing about the checks is they're supposed to be coming in by the end of the month, and if you file your taxes via direct deposit like I do, it should just go directly to your account. So folks, checks are coming. That's the good news. No $15 minimum wage. Bad news. They Cobra, it's a mixed bag. It's not, this bill's the fine. I think Sam Cedar said like this, the bill's what's more notable is the stuff that's not in the bill than what's in it. It's probably to make it 6 in the weekend news cycle. Yeah, just news dump. Yeah, exactly.
That's what the last guy did.
Huh?
Do everything on Friday so everybody can think about it all weekend. Yeah.
So that's it for the COVID relief bill. There's not really a whole lot more than that. We could dig into details. It's just not that interesting to me. I did want to talk about something that is profoundly interesting to me. This is something that happened on Tuesday. We didn't cover it yesterday because of our interview with Christine. So I wanted to kind of push this today. The PRO Act is legislation that has a lot of really great stuff for unions, makes it easy to organize, makes harsher penalties for bosses that do union busting or retaliation for organizing on the job. It makes it harder to classify workers or misclassify workers as contractors rather than employees. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. And here's Tim Ryan talking about it in Congress. This is Tim Ryan is not my favorite legislator, but I thought this was pretty interesting.
Heaven forbid we pass something that's going to help the damn workers in the United States of America. Heaven forbid we tilt the balance that has been going in the wrong direction for 50 years. We talk about pensions, you complain. We talk about the minimum wage increase, you complain. We talk about giving them the right to organize, you complain. But if we were passing a tax cut here, you'd be all getting in line to vote yes for it. Now stop talking about Dr. Seuss and start working with us on behalf of the American workers. I yield back the balance of my time.
Stop talking about Dr. Seuss. The cancel or the claim of cancellation of Dr. Seuss because his family didn't or stopped publishing a couple of his books. But anyway, yeah, PRO Act's coming up. It passed the House. It's going to go to the Senate. There's 45 co-sponsors. Only 5 Democrats have not. Among them are Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, a couple of our favorites. Angus King is another one that comes to mind. And I can't remember the other two. But there is going to be a lot of pressure to get this through. It's going to need 60 votes to get past the stupid, dumb, very bad, no good filibuster. So, I mean, the hopes for it actually happening, the odds are kind of long, but I mean, there's a lot of ways to plug in for it. I was on a call this weekend with some DSA folks launching a national campaign to get it through. There's going to be some local stuff to work on with that as well. Kind of keep an eye out for that. I did want to kind of at least talk a little bit about this. This is a good kind of profile on the PRO Act written by Kate Aronoff. She talks about what a climate labor alliance looks like, and it starts with the PRO Act. So the PRO Act is emerging as the left's answer to the classic political tension. So I'll just read a little bit from here. Tuesday night, the PRO Act passed the House by 225 to 205 votes. No Republicans voted for it, 0. If it passes the Senate and becomes law, it will peel back over a half century of anti-union policies, including core provisions of the Taft-Hartley Act of 1947. It will override state-level right-to-work protections, the darlings of the Koch brothers machine, and create harsher penalties for employers who interfere with employees' organizing efforts. But in myriad ways, the act might also do something unexpected: set the stage for sweeping climate policy. A coalition led by the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, or IUPAT, and the Communication Workers of America is mobilizing to push the PRO Act over the finish line in the Senate. The youth climate group Sunrise Movement was an early recruit, and the Democratic Socialists of America, including its Eco-Socialist Working Group, which is also pushing for a Green New Deal, will be deploying its members in key districts around the country to ensure it's passed. After a kickoff call over the weekend, that was the call I was on, Jamal Bowman killed it. That dude's awesome. But Jamal Bowman, Association of Flight Attendants, CWA head Sarah Nelson and Naomi Klein. DSA is holding trainings for its members throughout March as events through the country, pushing key senators to back the bill and lead up to May Day. So there's a really interesting component to a lot of this, specifically that like the strategy is also to target specific senators to support this thing. So even if you live in a place like we do, like definitely don't give up on trying to pressure these, ghouls that we have. We have a Frankenstein and a Falco and Leghorn as senators. And, but I mean, you could also tag off and do calls to people or do some organizing and support for people in different states that have more likely yes votes. this is the part that's kind of the thrust of it. The alliances forming around the PRO Act buck long-held wisdom in Washington about what it would take to get labor unions and environmentalists to work together. So essentially, it's building this alliance because there's been this long time tension between environmental groups. And yes, Louisiana does have a bad representative between environmental groups and like Greenpeace and a lot of the other ones and unions, because I mean, let's be honest here. If you are closing down pipelines and if you're closing down coal and gas facilities, people are going to lose their jobs, and that's scary. And it's unions' jobs to represent their members. What needs to happen, and this is what I've been saying for a very long time, the Green New Deal has to be and can only be successful if it's pushed forward as primarily a jobs bill, right? As a jobs program. And it's got to be like, make sure that the people who there's a provision in the Green New Deal called the just transfer of jobs, which feels a little bit like, at least in how it was originally constructed, a little bit tagged on, like, oh yeah, by the way, all these workers are not going to lose their jobs, yeah, sure, whatever. And like, no, like you can't do that. You need to have that be the front line to be like, in order to get, especially if you want to get unions on board, because I mean, if your first thing is, oh, by the way, all your members have to lose their jobs, then the union's gonna say fuck you. You know, it's a lot harder to get on board. IUPAT is affiliated with both the AFL-CIO and Northern American Building Trades Union, or NAB2, with members doing everything from industrial paintwork to commercial glass installation to flooring. Tens of thousands of IUPAT members in traditional energy sectors, Williams said, stand to lose work. Those members now make a really good living, all the same things the Green New Deal wants to create. The PRO Act is a perfect bridge to that. In order to lift wages and new forms of employment, workers have the right to organize. So, I mean, this PRO Act and the Green New Deal are essentially one in the same here. Oh, my buddy Daniel's here. In here, Daniel Dominguez, whose day job is with the National Union of Healthcare Workers, has been helping lead DSA's work on the PRO Act as a member of the Los Angeles chapter of the Democratic Socialist Labor Commission, a national body. There's a pretty broad recognition from our membership that a lot of our key demands are going to need a strong labor movement. Our PRO Act is its own, on its own, is not the transformational change we're looking for, but prerequisite for things like the Green New Deal and a federal jobs guarantee. As a labor organizer, Dominguez said, we get a ton of inquiries from people who want to organize and want a union. They're ready, but but run into limitation that people are scared of their jobs. They know the reality that people have gotten fired for organizing, he says. This would remove some of those structural obstacles. If there are real penalties in place for employers who violate the law, that gives employees the confidence they need to continue with their organizing efforts. Hell yeah. Like Daniel's really good at talking about this. Maybe I should reach out to him about coming on the show. Anyway, so we're building this relationship, this alliance, this, forming Voltron with the unions and groups like DSA, groups like Sunrise, and et cetera, and it's all coming together. So that's perfect. Oh, look at that. Ryan Keckeris is in there too. Where's he start at? Ryan Keckeris was a guest on this show a couple times. There you go. Williams noted that the massive amount of work that the green investment would create for IUPAT and other trades. He pointed in particular to a deal struck between the Danish wind developer Ørsted and NAB2, which will bring hundreds of unionized jobs to offshore wind projects over the coming years. Such agreements, IUPAT organizer and DSA member Ryan Keckers tells me, would create a generation of construction workers whose only work experience is building green energy. To me, that feels like the model and what we'd like to see out of something like a Green New Deal. The PRO Act would level the playing field for such things to happen around the country, helping snuff out anti-labor practices in right-to-work states that lead to rampant misclassification and low wages, including today's extractive industry. So, the Green New Deal, the PRO Act is good by itself, and it opens the door for the Green New Deal. So that's pretty much what it is. Now, in order for the Green New Deal to pass, part of that formula might need to be abolishing the filibuster. So what do you think, Scott?
Filibuster, not good. Unless we're watching Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Then it's really cool.
Not good. Very bad for you. Well, anyway, here's a little video that IUPAT put out about the filibuster because they're on top of this. And then they have a little statement. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Since the 1950s, when the unchecked power of the wealthy and large corporations has been threatened, they've relied on one arbitrary and arcane rule in the U.S. Senate to stop pro-worker legislation, the filibuster. The anti-worker, pro-corporate legacy of the filibuster will dictate Joe Biden's presidency if we don't act to eliminate it. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is part of a long history of conservative politicians who used the filibuster to block civil rights, worker rights, and good jobs for all.
Proudest moments I can think of in my own career have been the things that I stopped.
Of course, the filibuster hasn't posed a problem for corporations and rich people who want to pass tax cuts and defund healthcare and education. Corporate-backed politicians like Senator McConnell have used the filibuster to block campaign finance legislation that would limit their power over our elections. The Bipartisan Campaign Finance Act of 1999 and the Disclose Act of 2010 were aimed at fighting the influence of the unlimited campaign contributions from wealthy people and big corporations. They would have established new and stricter disclosure requirements for political spending by corporations, prohibited U.S. corporations with foreign ownership from making political contributions, and banned unlimited soft money contributions to political committees and parties.
So my colleagues, I hope that we will move forward on this to make sure that the voice of citizens is not drowned out by secret spending by the biggest corporations, including foreign-controlled corporations.
Both bills had support from a majority in the Senate, but corporations and their allies in the Senate used the filibuster to block necessary reforms. If not for the filibuster, the United States would also already have bold legislation to strengthen worker protections and make it easier for workers to form a union. The National Right to Work repeal of 1966, the Labor Law Reform Act of 1977, the Labor Relations and Railway Act Amendment of 1994, and the Employee Free Choice Act of 2007 all passed a Democratic-controlled House and were supported by a majority of senators. Each bill was killed by corporate-backed politicians with the filibuster. The filibuster is one of the main reasons we have a racial wealth gap in America. In the 1930s and 40s, racist Southern Democrats used the filibuster to exclude Black and Latino people from the New Deal programs that created the middle class. Domestic workers and agricultural workers were excluded from minimum wage laws and worker protections. Black families were excluded from getting an education through the GI Bill and a mortgage through the Federal Housing Authority. Today, Democrats have the votes to increase the minimum wage for 27 million people. We can pass the PRO Act to nearly double union membership and strengthen protections for workers. And we can stop billionaires and large corporations from buying our elections and protect the right to vote. These policies would help close the racial wealth gap and put power back into the hands of working people. But we can only do it if we eliminate the filibuster. As I explained in my book, Kill Switch, we've changed the filibuster rules before, and we can do it again. The Constitution states the Senate has the ability to create and establish whatever procedural rules it deems fit. And when necessary, the Senate can change its rules. The Chuck Schumer-led Democratic caucus faces an important choice. Will they allow Mitch McConnell to use the filibuster to do the bidding of large corporations and the wealthy? Or will they pass the legislation that the American people overwhelmingly want? Call your United States Senator and urge them to end the filibuster once and for all. We can't squander this opportunity to act.
Yeah, so basically that does a really good job of laying out the story of the filibuster has been like essentially made the Senate like one of the parts, one of the already worst parts of the government, like a graveyard for good legislation. They were talking about the Employee Free Choice Act, and which was under Obama, and they, it was able to be stopped into there. Various other jobs programs and union worker support programs. So fuck that filibuster. And in addition to the fact that one of the things that has sort of happened is Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin and many other Democrats sort of like talk about how they're representing their constituents, their states, by blocking the change of the filibuster or the abolition of this filibuster. And well, that's just a bunch of bullshit. I mean, let's be completely honest, because according to a poll, specifically in Arizona, where Kristen Sinema lives, now Kristen Sinema, who's she is a senator from Arizona. She very conspicuously in the past, in the $15 minimum wage fight, or in the vote for that, gave a very, very sort of like stylish, with extra sauce, thumbs down on the vote for the $15 minimum wage and whether or not to include that in the COVID relief bill. So she's one of the people that are against both the PRO Act right now and against changing the rules on this filibuster thing, the stupid thing that stops good things from getting through the Congress. And anyway, 61% of Arizonans say passing major bills is more important than keeping the filibuster. So I find this part really interesting. So when you're when you talk to people about like what's good and what's important and what you would like to see in the world, whoever like comes up and says, you know what I really love about our government? It's the dang filibuster. So anyway, let's just go ahead and look at this really quick. Ask likely voters in Arizona, one of the states with the moderate Democrat senator, a right-wing Democratic senator, opposed to ending the filibuster. They're more interested in passing major legislation than keeping Senate rules intact, according to a new poll. In a February Data for Progress survey, 61% of likely voters in the state said they are favor approving key bills, compared to the 26% who think it's more important to preserve traditional Senate procedures and rules like the filibuster. So basically, she's running against, or she's holding a position that's against the entire state of Arizona, and it's like a 61% majority. And also, she's on the other side of this really important legislation that could help workers throughout the country. And she's also against the $15 minimum wage. And she's also against all these other things. So similar numbers exist in other places as well. But yeah, that the filibuster needs to go, and the people that are defending it have no leg at all to stand on. So, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, she's like one of the most conservative people in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Like she pretty much like toes the like Republican Party line when she's not fundraising.
Well, yeah, apparently, yeah, there was a story about how she just like loves hanging out in the fundraising room and just like dialing for dollars, and like, I don't know, it's like one of these really weird, sort of disgusting things. Like she loved the worst part about being a senator, you know. She
saw Glenn Ross and saw like, wow, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, coffee's for closers, loser.
I don't want no steak knives. I mean, I don't know. She's just the worst.
Worst.
But like, filibuster, is that even need to get to 62?
It needs to get to 60. There's no 60 votes in the.
So it never happened.
Right. With the filibuster, it needs to get to 60. No, to change it, it needs to get to 51.
Oh, well, then there we go. That's the
50 chance. 50 plus the 50 plus the vice president, which would happen. 50 plus the tiebreaker. The Democrats have it. But people like this are standing in the way because it's 50-50 in the Senate right now.
Yeah, because they just have their own caucus. They're basically just independents.
Yeah. G. Wolf has a good point. If the filibuster is not killed, McConnell will do what he always does, and Trump 2.0 will be elected in 2024. Yeah. like I think about that too. Like the again, I never like underestimate how terrible and stupid Democrats can be, but like things can get definitely worse. Like 2024, like having like either Trump or like Ron DeSantis or some other like completely crazy-eyed, psycho running for winning for president because the Democrats didn't do anything is something that's like extremely like likely in my mind right now. So anyway, here's a good story. So the Amazon union in Bessemer, Alabama, the union drive is underway, and it's getting attention from other workers across the country. And so more than 1,000 Amazon workers across the U.S. have started asking and calling unions like RWDSU, which is the union that's that the Amazon workers are organizing with, and they're asking about unionization while that vote's happening. So basically, it's almost like you throw a rock into a pond and it starts making waves, right? It ripples out. Amazon workers across the U.S. appear increasingly interested in unionization. More than 1,000 workers have contacted the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union. Workers at an Amazon warehouse in Bessemer are taking a union vote. We talk about that a lot. So essentially, what's happening is, since we have this high-profile fight for a union in Bessemer, Alabama, and plus there's been so much support for it. There's been support from celebrities, like we said, like Danny Glover. There have been people that have been making trips. I know somebody who just this weekend is saying they're going up to Bessemer from here to check it out, to talk to folks, to kind of get things, show support. I mean, we did that. I did that with some other folks about a year ago with the to show solidarity on a strike line with some of the workers from the UAW at a parts facility out in Alabama. I'm sorry, Mississippi, rather, right outside of Jackson. And the fact that this is something that's getting attention is getting people to support it and keep getting people to act in their own interest in the same way. I think that's really cool and really good. What do you think?
It's good. I mean, more power to the unions. That's good. I mean, I don't know the most about unions. I've never been in one.
That's not true. You were with Painters and Glazers for a minute.
Yeah, for a minute.
Washington Post reports that over the recent weeks, more than 1,000 workers around the U.S. have gotten in touch with the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union to inquire about setting up union drives in their own workplaces. Quote, more than 1,000 Amazon workers from around the country have reached out to RWDSU seeking information about unionizing their workplaces. RWDSU spokeswoman Chelsea Connor told the Post. Workers at Amazon's warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama, which has more than 5,800 workers, in the middle of a unionization vote. If they vote in favor of a union, this would be the first Amazon workers union to be established in the U.S. It would help very much if Alabama votes yes, an anonymous Seattle-based worker told the Post. That's like, by the way, in Seattle, that's like the belly of the beast right there. That's like where Amazon is located. That's like the heart of Silicon Valley. Seattle and like San Francisco.
It's like unionized at City Hall.
Mm-hmm. At one point, the company started targeting workers with anti-union adverts on the streaming platform Twitch. Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, removed the ads, saying they violated its policies on political advertising. I didn't even know about this one. Holy shit! Okay, we gotta take a side. We gotta take a side Eddie out here, because oh my god, I didn't realize they were doing this on Twitch. That's incredible. All right, let's watch the anti-union ad. Watch Amazon's anti-union ads that Twitch is removing after they say they should have never been allowed. Oh my god, this is awesome. Twitch has removed its anti-union ads its parent company Amazon ran on the platform targeting workers in Alabama. The ads, first posted by More Perfect Union, encourage workers to vote no in the contentious labor battle. Let's see it. Oh my god, do it without dues. That's their stupid website. Let's go.
We at the Birmingham team have a great leadership. We really don't need anyone coming in and telling us what they want to give us, because basically we have everything we need here. Always wanted to work for Amazon. This is the only place I've seen that have benefits from day one. There's no waiting period. You got chances to advance.
Vote no for the union.
I will vote no.
It's not needed.
Vote no, we
Oh
can
my
do it
God.
without the dues.
That woman looked like she had a gun to her back, didn't she?
I don't know. I've never seen someone with a gun to their back.
Oh my God. So here's some more union busting. You know, I feel kind of bad for these people. Apparently, like, they're workers and they're being like asked to just do like anti-solidarity work. But it is kind of scab shit, you know? Robert says, that's super surprising because I know from Twitch drama that they play pretty fast and lose on what TOS they want to enforce or not. I don't know. That was really cringe, wasn't it? Like, she looked like she was like gonna be in trouble if she didn't like say every single word. Like, it's almost like a you know, like they got guns pointed at her. Here's one more.
To be a union rep in Los Angeles at International Airport, and they don't do nothing but take your money. They just take your money, and they don't do anything for you. I would keep what Amazon got. I love it. Yeah, I want to make my career here. I don't need the union. I'm gonna vote no.
I think the union coming in here would be devastating.
We're all wanting to get it done.
These are not even good cases. Stuart Applebaum, the RWDSU president, responded to ads on Thursday saying, quote, Amazon feels like it has to go to extremes like this in order to gaslight its workers about the dreadful working conditions at its Bessemer warehouse. Amazon is leaving no stone unturned, including ads on Twitch, in its efforts to deceive and intimidate their employees into voting against the union. Yeah, it was hostage vibe. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, it's I don't want to like make it like I don't want to like be trite about like hostage videos or anything like that, but it sure does feel like one. The energy is like, man, I gotta fucking say this. I gotta say this stuff. Really? Seriously? The message in those videos that unions will take away from workers' pay and that Amazon is providing enough as it is isn't new for the everything store. Gizmo reported in 2018 that a leaked training video for Amazon workers contained statements like, we're not anti-union, but we're not union neutral either, and encouraged managers to report any, quote, warning signs of union activity. So one of the things that I had heard that they had they had almost like a heat mapping.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah, and well, they almost had like a heat mapping though. Like they would have like reports or like diagnosed symptoms, and they would throw it into like an algorithm, and like they use that to determine like which of their sites would be like most ripe for unionization, and then just sort of target those and like play whack-a-mole in terms of like start targeting union busting activity before it even like officially began, like in any kind of explicit way. Robert says that it makes me pretty inspired that the Amazon is the richest company in the world, and that's the best that it can do. I know it's pathetic. That's pathetic. Jenny says tacky ass vids for one of the richest corps known to man. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no the reason that happened. The reason that that's the case. The reason that these ads are so bad is because there's no actual good case that you can make for union busting, for like not having a union. The only thing that you can do is these feeble attempts to like, you know, gun to their head workers and put them in front of a camera and say, you better say this, you know, or whatever. Because most people don't feel like, even if you're anti or like not going to join the union or whatever, you don't feel that strongly about it. A leaked training video. I want to keep going. I'm enjoying this like rap. Oh, it's 45 minutes. Do they have like a clips? No. I would definitely want to watch. Maybe we could do that on the Twitch stream at some point. I'd love to watch those anti-union videos. They're actually pretty lit. In past unionization pushes, Motherboard reported that Amazon hired anti-union spy agency Pinkertons to monitor workers. Oh my god. The Pinkertons are still around, folks. They never left.
They're using the same book from like
They're using the same people. Amazon has been aggressive in encouraging workers to vote no. In addition to the advertisement, the Washington Post reported that the company put up anti-union signs asking where your dues go in warehouse bathrooms. Did you see these? Did you see the bathroom stalls?
Yeah.
Yeah, just on the inside of the stall, it's like, yeah, what's gonna happen to your dues while you're trying to like poo or something? It's ridiculous. Amazon previously lost an appeal with the National Labor Relations Board to require in-person voting. Insider previously reported now workers can mail in their ballots. Motherboard reported this week that the tech giant will set up a USPS mailbox outside the warehouse. Workers are encouraged to put their ballots inside, but organizers say the location is a way to monitor employees. Yeah, they have a trap box that basically they could focus on people. Oh my god. Amazon's disgusting. They were changing streetlights. They're doing all kinds of just like shady ass shit to bust this union. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. But like seriously though, the fact that Joe Biden actually like wrote out, they have like I don't know if it's like a memorandum or whatever the hell. Like there was a point, like they officially did get behind the union. Maybe we could just go through that really quick. Here we go. Yeah, there was the video that they did, but then there was a much stronger statement that 2 days ago. Regardless, so far, hopefully this thing kind of passes through. I like the message. I'm happy and don't want to be more happy. I know, right? People like the idea that that's another one of the things that the anti-union campaigns do, though. They do this thing where they kind of like make it seem that if you get a union in here, it's going to be worse. It's going to like destroy the beautiful, perfect relationship that we have between Amazon management or whatever place that you work at, management, and you. And like, it's who in the world like just sits around thinking about how great of a relationship they have with their boss, like what job does that actually exist at? I've never had that. So anyway, you got any stories you want to share, Scott? You keep an eye on anything?
Yeah, I watched a 2-hour deposition of Jack Stevens about him being possibly involved in a murder of some land developer.
Whoa! Yeah, I saw something about this, but
Please work to the story on Fox 8, it linked to it's basically the story was there was a death ruled by drug overdose, and it happened in New Orleans, but the St. Bernard police were the first on the scene, and one of the victims, one of the people that was there, kind of said that the St. Bernard police were involved. So they made Jack Stevens do like a 2-hour deposition, and it just basically
Go ahead.
But yeah, it's basically just them being like, the story online is just 15 minutes long, and then there's links to all the depositions. But basically, he named a couple of people that he worked with, and then they had to do depositions, and all the people at the house had to do depositions, and New Orleans coroner had to do a deposition. So maybe this weekend, if I get all my work done, I will dive into those.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Like this is almost like our Epstein story.
Man, it might be.
I love it. Does the rabbit hole go? Well, that's a preview. Maybe we can cover this tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, maybe we can cover this tomorrow because that is some wild stuff. And like Jack Stevens in St. Bernard, for people who don't know, so for Scott and I are both from like a little place just a little bit outside of Orleans called St. Bernard Parish, and there's this Jack Stevens was basically the sheriff of that area since we were kids, and he runs.
His kid ran this year.
Huh?
His kid ran this year.
Of course, but it's like a mafia shit. And
it's weird. They have to make him like disclose his holdings, and he was like Lafitte Black Shop LLC or something like that. I'm like, oh god,
shop really? Like in the city?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a cop bar.
It's not a cop,
but it's owned by
it's a tourist bar. It's where tourists go to get the Everclear.
Yeah, they
Everclear
get the
daiquiris.
Yeah.
Historical building. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that.
All right. Well, I don't want to spoil that, but that's incredible.
Yeah, we need to break this. Lee Zurich investigates news story from 2005.
It's in 3 parts. Holy crap! That's a lot. That's a lot
3 parts. There's like
Lee Zurich. So Lee Zurich,
like 10 depositions that are all an hour long.
Lee Zurich, who's like a local news guy. He used to play in the same men's league basketball league that I used to play in. Did you know that?
Is he any good?
He was very aggressive, and also he talked a lot of trash. It was surprising.
Was he like Lee Zurich reports this ass whipping?
Exclusive. I'm coming down the lane and putting it up in
breaking right now.
I'm taking this on the team. Yeah. So anyway, I think we're going to end a couple of minutes early. I actually have to go and pick up Scott because he is coming on a job.
Wait, what time you got to pick me up?
I'm coming to pick you up right after we end this show.
What time we got to go be down there for? Let's
10
go. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, let's hammer this out off the air. But anyway, in about 10 minutes, you're gonna be. Most of y'all who are here will probably go there anyway. But I want to send y'all over to. I'm gonna drop the link in chat. Cyberdemon 531. She's got her show Above It All coming up at the top of the hour. Also, you can support Good Morning Comrade by supporting our Patreon. Patreon.com. Well, not that one. Not that link. Hold on. Oop. Who needs plans? Plans are for losers, right?
No, stop saying that.
Why?
So I got to yell at you off camera.
We gotta yell at you off camera? Don't yell at me. I don't like to be yelled at.
Don't worry about it.
Here's the link to Cyberdemon, to Andrea's show Above It All. And then also you can check out our Patreon. Come on, man. There it is. Patreon.com/Good Morning Comrade. You can give us, a little bit of money for support for the work that we do. We do a show every single day at 8 o'clock on 8 o'clock Central Time. Right here on YouTube. Robert and I also, we did a recording of our podcast episode. You should check that out. We talked about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah. We covered that, and also we talked a little bit about that Dirtbag Left article that the Daily Beast put out. Absolute garbage, just absolute trash, tying Jimmy Dore to like other parts of like the actual left. Ridiculous. So we did that last night, and then that's sort of like where we're at. Twitch. Twitch.tv/Good Morning Comrade. Robert and I read through the Slavoj Žižek interview, which was super fun. Twitch.tv/Good Morning Comrade Radio. So with that, I am going to say goodbye. Tell him goodbye, Scott.
Goodbye, Scott.
Got him.